It is now time for What's Hot, where we talk about the stories that have us all talking.
And we're joined by Susie Falk from the Falk Group Public Relations, and Jeff Wagner is back. Scranton, Pennsylvania city workers plan to take the mayor to court over across-the-board minimum wage salaries. He cut everybody's pay, including his own, because of a budget hole. A judge ordered all employees to be paid full salaries, but paychecks on Friday were light. Is the mayor taking inappropriate action or just trying to balance the budget?
It's dramatic, I'll say that.
Well, but here, here's the problem. The town is broke. I mean, literally, apparently, they do not have enough money in their bank account to cover all the checks. The payroll's like $1 million. So what he was trying to do is trying to figure out a way to have these people have their jobs. I mean, this is a really bad situation, and what he did is probably illegal. But the town is broke. The alternative is probably massive layoffs.
Yeah, no, it's an illegal action what he did, but you know, it's sad because this goes back to the fall and the Common Council and the mayor, and they're going head to head back in the fall, and I think there's a lot of desperation here, and the Common Council, like, they say that they were trying to come up with other sources of revenue, but I didn't really, in the news reports, I didn't read of any good ideas. And so the mayor, I think he's desperate, and he's like, okay, fine, it's come to this. I mean, there's no money, folks. Right.
You see, here's the big picture, and it's why if people are wondering, you know, why do you care about Scranton, Pennsylvania? This is going on all over the country. Stockton, California is declaring bankruptcy because they can't pay their bills. Communities all over the country have been, you know, putting off their fiscal problems for years and years and years, and now, to take the cliche, it's time to pay the piper, and there isn't any money around to pay them. So I think you're going to be seeing this story play out, you know, for the foreseeable future.
The tragic part of this is that it's not the Common Council or the mayor who's going to suffer. It's those working class people who, you know, have seen their pay just diminish. I mean, one guy was quoted as saying, "I got $300 like in 2 weeks to pay the bills. Which one should I pay?" So it's not just, and it's not just those folks. It's everybody else they owe money to. So.
But of course, this is what's been going on in the private sector for the last, you know,
sure.
I mean, this is
hard
what's
decisions.
It's what's been going on in the private sector for the last several years. And again, just look at this story. You're going to see this again more and more times, I'm afraid.
I don't know why you would want to be in politics right now, like a mayor or a governor, because your hands are tied. I mean, just like this mayor, he had nowhere to go.
You're barely
and he did
treading water.
What he thought was best to preserve jobs.
And it's important to note, I think, that the Common Council and the mayor are of one political party too, folks. You know, I mean, you got one party that they don't know how to figure it out. It's scary. I think we need to invent in some industries, and I do think that they're sitting on some pretty decent gas in that country, Pennsylvania, and maybe we should talk about fracking in the next What's Hot segment.
All right, coming up next, how far would you go if your child was bullied? How one dad got arrested after being accused of taking matters into his own hands. PR and Jeff Wagner from News Radio 620 WTMJ. So a Connecticut man is accused of paying a teenager $21 to fight a younger girl he believed was bullying his daughter. He was arrested hours after the fight. Dad says charges are absurd. He tried to break up this fight. So if the dad really did this, how should he be punished?
Jeff, you're the lawyer. You know, you
well, I mean, you can't. First of all, Susie, I got some people who are being mean to me on email. If I give you $20, will you take care of them for me?
Not enough money.
Okay, but bottom line is, just like you can't go and the dad couldn't go and punch out the kid himself. Dad hiring somebody to punch out the kid, that's aiding and abetting, whatever.
It's a hit.
So, well, yeah,
he ordered a hit on this kid.
On a kid, yeah.
No, this is according to police reports. You know, and the guy gets his day in court, I think, tomorrow. So, and he was interviewed. Local television interviewed him, and I think he might have gotten caught up in the heat of the moment, and you know, it sounded like a crazy idea, but let's just get it over with. We as parents get very passionate about our children, and man, there's nothing worse than to see your kid get bullied. And so, but if this guy did turn and become the bully himself, shame on him. He should know better.
And that is a bad lesson for his daughter as well, because you know, how do you qualify that?
That's right. Well, and he went with his daughter supposedly to this restaurant where the bully was, and he was going to be with his daughter, and they were both going to confront him. And I think, you know what, parents, back off. Let the kids sort this out themselves.
Unless it gets really bad, and then I think you do need to intervene in some cases.
Think about this girl now, though. I mean, she's marked, right? Yeah. Her daughter.
It'll get worse, I think.
It's only going to get worse.
Okay, our third topic. Most people know physical contact is inappropriate at the office, but more than a third of people in a Today Show survey say they hug their coworkers. Another third of them say they do it, but rarely. What do you think? Should there be a strict hands-off policy at the office. I don't see you on a daily basis. We're not like, hi, good Monday to you.
It's all about EQ, folks, emotional quotient. And if you think there's somebody on your staff and they'd like a hug and, you know, you're all feeling it, hug them. But if it looks...
Susie, do you need a hug when you come into the studio?
Sometimes, you know, Amy Freeze, she gives me a hug every now and then. And Jeff, if we have a big, you know...
Absolutely.
war.
We
guys have to make up.
every once in a while. Look, here's the bottom line. I mean, everybody's concerned about sexual harassment and things like that, and everybody's concerned about, you know, improper touching, and that's fine. But at the same time, we can't go so far that, you know, normal human contact, you know, isn't allowed. And I don't think that, I never want to work in an environment where, you know, the pat on the back or something like that.
Yeah,
or the
I get that,
yeah.
but I don't get like daily hugs in the workplace.
Daily hugs is kind of weird. No, we don't do that in the office. There's nothing worse than this hug. That doesn't.
The what?
This hug.
Oh, yeah.
Forget it.
The three pat hug?
Is that a waste of time?
That's a waste of time. Give me a handshake, man. You know.
Okay, so Courtney, you're not a hugger. I get that
No,
from this
I'm
conversation.
good, but like I said, every day when I see Steve,
Right.
I'm not going to give him
Yeah, but
a
that's
hug.
Steve.
We
you
spend
know?
8 hours a day next to each other. We don't need to hug every day.
And sometimes we just ignore each other.
You know,
too.
if we sit back from a 10-day vacation, maybe it's different.
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe.
Or maybe not.
Common sense, people. Common sense.
Rodney and I are going to hug it out during this
I'm going to
quick
go get a
break.
hug from Carol Meekins right now. I'm telling you, right
Oh,
there.
let us know how that works out.
We'll be right back.